Welcome to Girl Talk. We are filming here at Radiant Skin Therapy on Todd Drive, and I think we've got a pretty great show coming up. What do you think?
As always.
Very cool stuff.
Right.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to talking to Ann Hill here at Radiance. She's amazing. She's really amazing. She's got great bedside manner. She's top-notch in terms of technology.
Absolutely.
She's the best of the best,
She
I
really
think, in
is.
many ways.
They offer services here too. The thing that sort of made me stumble upon them is they offer services here that you can't get anywhere else in this area.
Right.
So I
That
think
we've
it's
even
really
heard
neat.
of
Yeah,
before
some very
the show.
exclusive services.
We're going to
So
learn about a service today that, do you know if it's offered anywhere in Madison besides here?
that's a good question. We'll have to ask her. I haven't seen it anywhere else.
I doubt it.
This is a kind of service that is only kind of, you feel like it's Hollywood-ish kind of
Oh,
stuff.
it is very.
So it's amazing. I feel like it's amazing that it's offered here in Madison. So it's going to be really interesting to learn about that.
And I think it's really interesting too how much work they have to do to keep up with the industry that is constantly changing, and the technology is constantly changing, and the research and all of this. So there's more to it than just performing the procedures. I mean, you really need to know your stuff.
You're
Well,
absolutely
it's
right.
medically based stuff. So I mean, she's super intelligent, and you know all the education that she has
Absolutely.
and credentials for
And
sure.
she's so good at explaining what's going on and why it works and that kind of thing. She's
Yeah.
just really good.
Absolutely.
Too.
I'm excited to talk to Ho Chunk too. I understand that they are debating or at least gaining feedback on what people think about smoking inside. So
Yeah, I
I'm
read
interested to see what exactly that entails, because that's like such a casino thing, right? Is being able to
Right.
smoke inside, but it's also possibly a deterrent for folks.
You know,
I don't know.
I was bartending when I was younger, well, when I turned 18. And I think the smoking ban was just starting then, where they were banning it in bars. And this is in northern Wisconsin, and there were a lot of angry people. But I feel,
About the ban.
Yeah, about the ban.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't want to go outside because it was so cold
Right.
and, you know, X, Y, and Z. But it's been so many years now, I think it's okay. Like, I think it has kind of become the norm. And
Yeah.
You know, and I am a couple years older, and so I was a bartender through college as well, way before the smoke ban, and you know, and during the smoke ban, and yeah, people were just up in arms about it. You can't not let me smoke. But even once it went into effect, and it just that's what it was.
Yeah.
Even some of the smokers were like, you know what, I don't mind because my hair doesn't smell as much. I just step
Right.
outside quick.
Right,
Yeah.
And they kind of
exactly.
ended up liking it too. Was a lot of the feedback I got.
And now it's hard to even imagine being able to smoke inside or being
Yeah,
in a place
true.
where people are smoking. You know what I mean? It's like it
Yeah.
just seems so taboo. We got so used to it so fast. So, but casinos are really one of the few places left that it's the norm.
I was out in Las Vegas a year or two ago, and the casino just was so strong with smoke. It really was a deterrent for me. I couldn't stand it.
And
Right,
they pump in the oxygen there too, though. So then it's like
That helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, 'cause they
oh
want
yeah.
you to
They keep
stay-
you awake. They gotta keep you awake.
Not just clean air, but like oxygen, so that you're like
Alert.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's why I feel so amazing.
That's why you feel energized
I'm
and
on so many
excited.
different highs when
Yeah.
I'm gambling.
Right.
Okay, I get it.
I think they have different rooms though, that some areas that are smoking and some areas that are non-smoking at Ho Chunk too, so that you do have options.
Sure.
But it'll be interesting to see what they decide
Yeah, I'm
to
really
do.
curious about that.
Yeah, so that'll be, we'll find out.
And we're moving on to spring, talking about spring. We've been talking about prom and bridal and things like that, but we'll have a little bit more serious discussion today in terms of prom and an important topic of driving
Yes.
safely. And
Jenny Addis is outstanding, and she is an incredible role model, but she does a lot of speaking in public. I don't know if you guys know about that or not, but she does a lot of public speaking to schools and organizations about things that have affected her, which is drinking and driving.
Yeah, this is really a great opportunity to listen to her. She's just fantastic, and her story is one that you need to hear
Absolutely.
of
And-
all ages, really.
Yeah, and I think it's great that she's able to have the courage to sit in front of sometimes an entire school of high school age students and talk about what she goes through and some of her day-to-day struggles, because it's real challenging.
Yeah.
But she has such a positive outlook and an amazing story. So we're gonna find out more about that coming up very soon. Stick around, you're watching Girl Talk. We're here at Radiant Skin Therapy, and we're gonna be right back.
Hi, and welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming here at Radiant Skin Therapy off Todd Drive. It's always a pleasure to be here. Yes. But with us, we have Jenny Addis from Inspiration Speaks. It's so great to have you back, Jenny.
Oh, I'm so happy to be back.
Well,
it's
we
exciting.
love having you.
So glad.
Absolutely. Yes. Jenny's going to talk to us a little bit about the importance of safety this prom season and driving. And can you just share your story a little bit with us and how Inspiration Speaks came to be about?
Sure. So on March 16th, 1997, if you can imagine, I was 24 years old. So, you know, very prime, you know, part of our life when we're young women like that. And I was having a bachelorette party for my future sister-in-law when my designated driver picked me up later that night, and he had been intoxicated. And we had headed home, and he decided to pass another vehicle on the right-hand shoulder of the road going about 85 miles an hour. So if you can imagine, all of that just didn't mix. So with that, I became a C5, C6 quadriplegic. So I'm paralyzed from about my mid-breast down. And you can imagine that brought on a lot of new hardships and struggles that have not been easy over the years. So Inspiration Speaks came about when I realized that I had this really great story to share that could potentially save lives and be life-saving for other families. And Inspiration Speaks just kind of spoke it loud and clear.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What an incredible, what an
and you
incredible
brighten
story.
up when you start talking about that too. which
Really?
is neat.
Aw.
Yeah, I get goosebumps when I hear it, and then you just are so cheery about such a negative situation and turning it positive.
Yeah.
So what is Inspiration Speaks? What is your mission?
So basically my mission is to go out and educate, motivate, and inspire others to like find, you know, and just embrace like a life-changing event and turning it into something positive, and just kind of promoting like finding your own inner strengths and kind of doing something with that, not just sitting on that. Because I think we all have very interesting stories, and we all have hardships and struggles that we go through all the time, but nobody really talks about them or shares them. And so that's why I took this platform and I kind of ran with it, or rolled with it, you could really say. So.
Yeah, and I think it's really incredible that you're willing to share your story and some of the challenges that you have gone through over the years, and with some incredible groups and making some big impacts. So tell us a little bit, and for viewers at home too, what kinds of groups you've spoken to and what kinds of topics you cover.
Yeah, so I go out and I speak to schools of all ages. So I mean, I go from the K through 12, and then colleges, universities, conventions, conferences. And some of the topics that I kind of try to focus on are the consequences of drinking and driving. And interestingly, you know, over the years, and we've talked about this, Jessa, that over the years, I kind of had to shift that a little bit, because our kids out there have so many more peer pressures than we ever have. So I've turned that into talking about the consequences of drinking and texting and driving, drinking and drugging and driving, and you know, just reckless driving in general. So that's a big focus that I like to share. That's very close to my heart. And then I talk about a lot of other topics. I get to talk about like the importance of wheelchair accessibility, the importance of medical research. I talk to the itty bitties about just inclusion and respecting each other, and you know, all those kind of things, because we all may look differently, and we all may have different struggles and things going on in our lives. So I like to really kind of, if you sat in a room and were able to just participate in one of my events, it's amazing, because when you have a group of high schoolers and you can hear a pin drop in the room, they're so engaged with what you have to say. Oh my gosh, you want to go back and you want to talk to every school, every student out there. And then you have the itty bitties that you get to talk to about, you know, they like to talk about some of the fun stuff, like how fast the wheelchair goes. So, so we kind of touch on a lot of different fun things like that. So.
Oh my gosh, our time goes so fast here. If there is one take-home message that you want to wrap up with, what is that?
That would be very simple. It would be my voice, your choice. I have this story that I want everybody to hear me saying it, and I want them to take home something from that, and whatever aspect they want to take from my story is fine. I mean, if they want to grasp onto the drinking and driving, that's great. But if a kid wants to go home and tell their mom and dad, hey, buckle up, like that can save our life, that's what I want people to hear. And
Thank you
Amazing. So do I.
so much for being here.
Thank you.
Again, this is Jenny Addis. Google her, you'll find everything about her. This Is How I Roll, I believe, is your Twitter. You can find her there as well. Stay tuned. We've got Ann Hill from Radiant Skin Therapy coming up, and you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned for more Girl Talk.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming at Radiant Skin Therapy. It's just off Todd Drive on the Beltline. Later, we will talk with the owner, Ann, about a very cool technology to help turn back the hands on the clock of time. Is that right? Did I say that right?
We know what you mean.
You know what I mean. Well, maybe you've seen the ads for Ho Chunk Gaming in Madison. We have more. We have better than that. We got the dude right here. This is Daniel Brown. He's the executive manager over at Ho Chunk Gaming. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about Ho Chunk Gaming. What's going on? What's new right now?
Well, right now there's a whole lot of winning. There's a great deal of winning going on. A lot of jackpots we've been paying out. As I told you at one of the shows, we've got a lot of progressives on our gaming floor. The largest one being $1 million progressive. And 2 weeks ago, we had a guy come in and hit for $1.5 million
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
on a $3 bet.
Is he single?
Pretty, yeah, pretty neat. So that was a big deal. You know, we're very excited. I think he might be a little more excited than us. But
Wouldn't that be
Right.
fun to be there when someone wins something like
It'd be
that?
so
I've never
cool.
been around that. You see it happen,
Right.
you see the
Yeah.
articles in the news, but
So really super cool. And then 2 weeks ago, we gave away a car.
also very cool.
Very cool, and the way we do it, I think, is really cool because we give a voucher out to the winner. And so if you want to go and get yourself a $60,000 card, you'll have $30,000 to apply towards, you know,
Nice.
Oh, I
finance.
love that.
That's pretty cool.
And if you want a $10,000 car or something lesser, then we give you the cash. And if you just want the cash, here's 30 grand for you.
Oh, that's very
Obviously,
cool.
I'm spending my Friday nights at the wrong place.
Right.
So kind of cool. Yeah, kind of cool.
It's a pretty good ROI on $3.
Yeah, not bad, huh?
Right. So, not much going on. Anything else going on at Ho Chunk?
Just, we got some really cool promotions on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday this month, we're going to give away a 55-inch screen curved TV. On Wednesdays,
Those are really cool.
yeah, they're becoming very
Yeah.
popular and pretty awesome. So that's every Tuesday, and Wednesdays, senior days for us seniors that are 50 and above. 50 and over, you come in and you have a preloaded $5 on your card, and you can earn up to $10 and $25 during the day of play. So kind of a cool thing.
And it only takes 3, right?
Takes $3. That's
$3.
right. $3 to win the big one. That's
Yeah.
right. And then Thursdays we have qualifiers for a big $100,000 giveaway at the end of the month. At the end of the month. So pretty neat, pretty cool stuff going on.
Lots
We're
of
pretty
winning.
excited. A lot of winning.
Oh, so I heard that you are conducting a smoking survey. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're always mindful of, service being the main thing for our players. And I
Sure.
read comment cards on a regular basis, and I'm getting comments about smoking quite a little bit. So we thought we'd just do something more comprehensive as far as finding out what are people thinking. So starting in November, we began a survey, and we're gathering the data now just to see whether or not we might consider going smoke-free.
So are there some preliminary results so far that you're getting a feel for?
Yeah, we looked at the survey that was done by the state most recently, and there's a 2% drop in smoking overall, and preliminarily it's looking like the results of our survey are similar to that, and that people are less apt to smoke or want to be a place where there's smoking going on.
I imagine that's a tough call for you because you're trying to
Right.
please everyone, and that never is an easy thing to do.
You're so right.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people come to your establishment because it is a place that they're allowed to smoke inside and be entertained, and so that's difficult.
It's real difficult, and of course the data is going to be the one thing that's going to be the determining factor, because at the end of the day, what we're doing is just providing funding for our tribal programs, and so it's we want to be sure that we're
Right.
looking out for the health of our employees, the health of our players, but we still have to look at the business as a whole, and if the data dictates that smokers would prefer that we maintain, then
That's true. I love that you're considering also your employees versus just your guests.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yes, that's
if
very
I,
important.
If I may be so bold, can I ask your personal preference on the smoking issue?
I would prefer to go smoke-free.
Okay.
From particularly from a health standpoint, my own personal health. I've been in the industry for 20 years, so I've been in an environment where there's secondhand smoke. So I don't know what kind of surprises I have in store for me, but it also applies to the to the employees and our players. We have a lot of players. The trend is overall in society going away from smoking, and so
It is, yeah. We're about out of time. Do you have any final thoughts you want to share with our viewers or with us?
Oh, that went so fast.
I
They did
know.
go fast. I guess one of the things I want to is thank you. Thank you, CW57, Jessa, and you lovely gals for just having me on the show. Really do appreciate
You're so
it.
fun. You're one
Well,
of our
thank you very
favorites.
much. This is really nice to be here and thank thank the viewers who attend or who do show up to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison and all my players.
Well, I bet you're going to have a bunch more after hearing what people won.
Well, we'll be interested to find out what you learned from your survey. Thanks for coming in, Daniel.
Thank you very
This is
much.
Daniel Brown with Ho Chunk Gaming in Madison. We'll be right back with Ann Hill, the owner at Radiant Skin Therapy.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are so excited to be at Radiant Skin Therapy with the beautiful Ann Hill. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
And for chatting with us. I'm super excited to learn about our topic today. So PRP, platelet-rich plasma. What is it and how do you use it to make this look better?
Yeah, absolutely. So what it is we draw a tube of blood, and with that tube of blood, we spin it in a centrifuge, and it's really about the tube that will be able to separate the red blood cells and make a very concentrated amount of platelet-rich plasma. And what's important about that is what is already in our body to heal and repair and go to a wound site to repair it. So we have this protein that we can put in concentrated amounts to strengthen and tighten and correct damage.
I've actually heard of the plasma referred to as liquid gold.
Yes, it is.
This is so exciting, and we've been kind of doing our research on this because it's just such a neat thing to learn about. And my question is, just talk to us a little bit about what it's doing for the aesthetics industry, and what does it mean for people that this technology exists?
Right. Well, the greatest thing about this is that it's your own product. We don't have any chance of rejection or reaction because it's you. So, but what it can do is, when we talk about scarring, when we talk about lax, real wrinkly, lax tissue, discoloration, so some of the areas that we're using it in, and sometimes it's in combination too with fillers, but it doesn't have to be. Or with the micropen or the microneedling. But eyes, lips, neck, hands, those areas we're really seeing a lot of improvement because we can concentrate it in there for lip lines, textural issues, a lot of times under the eyes when we're really dealing with crepey or some of the bluish kind of coloring under there. So those are really the main areas in aesthetics and overall rejuvenation of the face or neck or chest or wherever.
Which we're all in constant search of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
I didn't realize it
absolutely.
was something you could do on your hands, and that's one of the, I think, key giveaways sometimes to aging. People pay a lot of attention to their face and forget about their hands.
Right.
I'm definitely guilty. Don't look, but
I put sunscreen
We
on
all
my hands
are.
every day.
yeah,
I
you're
do.
good about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cosmetically speaking, it sounds like you said, thinner skin, wrinkling, even scarring, right? Like
Absolutely
acne scars.
scarring, yes, 100% with the microneedling that we talked about last month, and the PRP, we can microneedle the PRP in for overall rejuvenation. And then if we really have specific scarrings, we could inject that PRP into those areas for kind of almost like a double rejuvenation. And so we're seeing really nice things with scar revision.
And this isn't just filling something, this is helping heal and change, right?
100%. So when we first, like if we did it, injected it in, we initially see a large amount of volume. But that volume doesn't last. It kind of deflates. But then really what it's doing is it start the rebuilding of that area.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. So it's over months that we start to really see those changes happen.
This is so exciting, and I can't help but think about, I was someone who struggled with acne growing up, so people with acne scarring out there that, you know, have those residual leftover scars, this could make a huge impact.
Right.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So could you give us a little history of PRP and what other things it was used for? Or can
Sure,
be used for?
yeah. So, I mean, it's gone back 30 years ago that, you know, they were looking at what PRP could do. And in today's times, it's being used a lot in orthopedics, so orthopedic surgeons will inject into a joint to repair a joint. So when we see the kind of repair that it can do in that situation, we also know in aesthetics what it's going to do for skin, because it does repair skin and muscle and joint type of tissues.
I've heard too that it can be used in your scalp for thinning hair, is that right?
It is.
And that's for real?
For real. But you have to have already hair there, so it's not bald, not for balding, or bald. Thinning hair, and it can be used in both men and women, and it's usually a combination of that microneedling the PRP in, and then there will be some injection of the PRP in. And that combination can be really, really, really nice.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So how long would it take for the hair to grow back or regenerate?
Well, people can start to see an improvement even as little as a month. But, you know, that's going to continue.
Hair
and
grows slowly.
Hair grows slowly. Remember, a hair cell cycle is 6 to 8 weeks. So if you think about that, you'll really start to see, you know, 6 weeks, then 3 months, so on and so forth. And there's usually a series of that done. It's not usually a one and done for somebody. Again, like everything, we like a one and done, but when we're dealing with skin and tissues, it's a constantly aging, so we have to do something on a regular basis or a series of treatments that can really then help it.
Right, and it's so exciting to have an option that has such incredible results without surgery, and that's what we love about talking to you, is that seems to be the case with so many of your services. And I want to get back to the face for a second, because we've hyped up this name, the vampire facial, but this is what I've heard of too, is the vampire facial. So is that the same thing?
It really is the same thing. The discrepancy is that when you see it, they're showing the actual red blood cells going on. That's a little bit false. It's really not blood, but I think for this particular person who gave it the name, they wanted to kind of dramatize it and say this is the
Shock
vampire
value.
facial.
Well, vampires have been hot.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Yep.
But yes, it is really the same thing. The vampire facial is all about the platelet-rich plasma.
Well, and real quick, we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
What's the cost for something like this?
Yeah, it can start anywhere from $300 and up.
Okay, depending on what you need.
Yeah,
Reasonable.
Come
Yeah.
visit Ann.
Yeah.
Learn more about PRP and looking young, grown hair, whatever you need. She'll take care of you. And join us back again for more Girl Talk here on CW57.